All right, we're going to look at one more way of finding the average rate of change, and this is going to be graphically. So we are still going to use this formula, the y2 minus the y1 over the x2 minus the x1. And instead of plugging these values into a formula or an equation, what we're going to do is we're going to read them off the graph. So when x is equal to -2, so 1, 2, looks like my y value there is 1. So what I'm going to do so I don't make a math error is I'm going to write down what these points are. So I have -2, 1, and then when x is 1, y is 0. So 1 and 0. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that for all of these. So when x is -3, so it looks like, so on some of these you're going to have to guess a little bit. So that's the point that I'm looking at. So -3. It looks like that's, I don't know, about 1.5. Okay, so I think when I did these, all of these I used either a whole number or like a 0.5 on them. And then when x is 0, y is -3. So go ahead and pause the video, give that run through and get those points written down. And we will then plug those into our formulas. All right, so here's what I have for points for all of those. And then let's just go ahead and work on plugging those in. So it's you can go either way. So I usually call this first one my x1, y1, and this one my x2, y2. But you can certainly subtract the other way. That works just fine. So it's y2 minus y1. So I have 0 minus 1 over 1 minus a -2. So it gives me a -1 in the numerator. 1 minus a -2 gives me a 3 to get -1/3. For number 11, I have -3 minus 1.5. And I'll subtract the x's. So 0 minus a -3. So -3 minus 1.5, so that's a -4.5. And that's a +3. And if you punch that guy in your calculator, what you'll get is a -1.5 if you're just interested in what that simplifies to, because that's a kind of an odd looking expression. Number 12, so I have 2 minus a -3 over 4 minus a -1. Okay, so that gives me, let's see, 5 over 4 plus 1, 5. So that gives me an average rate of change of 1. If you want to go ahead and pause the video and work these last three, 13, 14, and 15, then we can come back and take a look at those. All right, so for number 13, I had -1 minus a -1, which gives me a 0. And 1 minus a -3, so it's 1 plus 3. So 0 over 4 gives me 0 for my average rate of change there. So what that means is we're looking at the average rate of change between these 2 points. Well, it hasn't changed, it's just stayed flat. So that's why we have an average rate of change of 0 there. Here I have 1.5 minus a -1.5, so we add those two together, so I get a 3, and 2 minus 0 is 2, so that divides out to 1.5. Then 3 minus a -1, that's really 3 plus 1, so I have 4 over 2, which gives me 2. Right, so those are examples of finding your average rate of change graphically.